Let me tell you something that most people miss. The words coming out of your mouth are designing the world you're living in. If your life feels stuck, heavy, or full of lack, it might not be because of your circumstances. It might be because of your confession. Because what you speak becomes what you see. Now that might sound like a motivational cliche, but it's not. It's spiritual law, it's psychological truth, and it's practical reality. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. See, every word you speak is a seed. And seeds don't just disappear, they manifest. Your words either build your future or block your breakthrough. Every time you open your mouth, you are either writing a blessing over your life or signing a contract with struggle. Here's the shift. Stop saying, I'm tired and broke and catch a break. I'm just trying to survive. Start declaring, I am equipped. I am favored. I walk in overflow. I attract opportunities. I don't chase, I attract. Because, here's the truth. Your brain listens to your mouth. Your body listens to your words. Your spirit aligns with your confession. If you keep talking like a victim, you'll keep living like one. But if you dare to speak like someone who already has the victory, the world will start shifting in your favor. See, words aren't just sounds, they are frequencies. And frequencies create form. That's why two people can be in the same situation, but one rises and one sinks. Why? Because one says, this is my end. And the other says, this is my launch pad. Same pressure, different prophecy. Let me challenge you with this. But one day, just one day, where you don't complain. Go one day where you don't speak lack. Go one day where you only speak what you want, not what you fear, and watch what happens. You will feel stronger. People will start responding to you differently. Ideas will come, solutions will show up, doors will begin to open, because you didn't wait for the world to change, you changed your words, and the world had no choice but to respond. Speak over your life like it matters, because it does. Wake up in the morning and say, I was born for this. I am a magnet for good. I am chosen, I am powerful, I am unstoppable. You don't need to see it to believe it. You need to believe it so deeply you start to speak it. And once you speak it long enough, the evidence will show up. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. So remember this. Your words are not commentary, they are commands. Stop narrating your defeat. Start prophesying your victory. Because when you change your words, you change your world. The words you speak are not just harmless expressions, they are the architecture of your reality. Every sentence you say out loud reinforces a belief, and every belief you hold shapes the lens through which you see the world. When someone repeatedly says, I'm not good enough, or I never catch a break, they aren't just venting, they are writing a script for their life to follow. The subconscious mind doesn't argue with your statements, it simply accepts them as truth and works tirelessly to create situations, emotions, and behaviors that align with what you've declared. If you speak limitation, you live limitation. But when you begin to shift your language, even slightly, you begin to shift your vibration, your energy, and your ability to attract new possibilities. Saying, I am becoming stronger every day, or opportunities are finding me, doesn't just feel good, it sets a new standard for your brain and your spirit to live by. Your words begin to guide your thoughts, and your thoughts create momentum. That momentum becomes action, and those actions determine the outcomes you experience. So every word you speak is a thread weaving the reality you will soon walk into. Every word that leaves your mouth is like a seed planted in the soil of your life. Just like natural seeds, words don't produce results instantly, but they begin a process that eventually brings forth fruit, either good or bad. When you speak words of fear, doubt, anger, or limitation, you're planting seeds that will grow into anxiety, frustration, and scarcity. On the other hand, words of faith, gratitude, and expectation plant seeds of peace, power, and prosperity. The truth is, most people speak without awareness of what they are sowing. They curse their own progress by constantly speaking failure, not realizing those small daily expressions are setting the tone for everything around them. And like any garden, what you water the most will grow. If you continually reinforce negative speech patterns, you're watering the very things you wish to get rid of. But if you start intentionally choosing your words, speaking life into your goals, your relationships, your finances, then you're creating a spiritual environment where growth becomes inevitable. Your words carry spiritual DNA. Once spoken, they begin shaping attitudes, actions, and outcomes. Seeds don't care whether they're weeds or wheat. They just grow according to what's been planted and how it's nurtured. The power of life and death is quite literally in your tongue. It's not just a metaphor, it's a principle that governs the way your life unfolds. When you speak life, you energize your environment, your relationships, and your internal state with hope, clarity, and direction. But when you speak death, through constant complaining, self-doubt, or toxic declarations, you suffocate your own potential. Every time you say, I can't, your mind closes a door. Every time you say, I'm not good enough, your body listens and operates in defeat. Words don't just describe your reality, they declare your alignment with life or destruction. Speaking life means you are planting words that encourage resilience, abundance, and courage, even in moments of struggle. But most people don't realize how their casual words are slowly poisoning their dreams. Saying, I'll never make it, might sound harmless in the moment, but it gives silent permission for giving up to become acceptable. The tongue is a tool of creation or destruction, and it's always working, even when we're not conscious of it. The words you use daily become the blueprint your subconscious builds your life upon, reinforcing either a mindset of growth or a mentality of failure. Most people spend their days speaking about what they fear instead of declaring what they want. They say things like, I hope I don't fail, I don't want to get hurt again, or I'm scared this won't work out. And what they don't realize is that by giving voice to their fears, they are giving life to them. The subconscious mind does not process negation the way we think it does. It simply focuses on the core message. So when you say, I don't want to be broke, your mind hears, be broke, and starts to align with that reality. Fear-based language keeps you locked in survival mode, constantly anticipating loss, pain, or rejection. But when you shift your language and start to boldly speak what you want, you activate a different frequency. Saying, I am building wealth, I am attracting love, or I am walking in purpose sends a signal that your life is moving forward. It turns your focus toward abundance and opens your awareness to opportunities that match that belief. Speaking what you want doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means refusing to reinforce limitation. Your words become a magnet, drawing in experiences that reflect either your bold declarations or your quiet doubts. Your brain is constantly listening to the words you speak, and it treats those words as instructions. The subconscious mind doesn't differentiate between a joke, a complaint, or a command. It simply absorbs and obeys. When you say things like, I'm so stupid, I can't do this, or I'm just not meant for success, your brain treats those as facts and starts wiring your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors around them. Over time, you begin to believe what you've repeated, and that belief shapes your actions. Your body follows suit as well. If you constantly speak exhaustion, your body starts to feel tired. If you repeatedly say you're anxious or stressed, your nervous system will respond with tension and restlessness. On the other hand, when you speak empowering words, I am capable, I am calm, I can handle this, you shift your internal chemistry. Your brain starts producing more confidence, boosting thoughts, and your body begins to relax into strength. This is why athletes use affirmations before competition, and why leaders declare their vision with conviction. Your words are not just expressions, they are internal commands that shape how you feel, how you act, and how you show up in the world each day. There's a massive difference between the language of a victim and the language of a victor, and most people don't even realize which one they're using. A victim says things like, nothing ever works out for me, I'm just unlucky, or people like me never get ahead. These words might feel true in the moment, but they reinforce a powerless identity, one that waits for circumstances to improve before taking action. The problem is that identity becomes a cage. The more you speak it, the more real it becomes. You train your mind to look for proof that supports your struggle, and soon enough, struggle becomes your normal. But a victor speaks differently. A victor says, I'm learning from this. This challenge is making me stronger, or my breakthrough is on the way. They don't deny difficulty, they speak power in spite of it. And that's what shifts the energy. Speaking like a victor doesn't mean you never feel pain. It means you refuse to let pain have the final word. Your words become armor. They don't just protect your mindset, they shape it. If you speak as someone who is already rising, already winning, already chosen, the world starts treating you accordingly. One of the most powerful practices you can adopt is committing to just one day without speaking negativity. Just one day where you don't complain, don't gossip, don't voice your fears, and don't say anything that doesn't align with the life you actually want. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's spiritual training. Most people are so used to negative speech patterns that they don't even notice them. They say things like, I hate Mondays, I'm so broke, or I'm always tired, without realizing they are cursing their own experience before the day even begins. Taking one day to become radically aware of your words forces you to confront how deeply programmed your language has become. And the moment you break that cycle, even for 24 hours, you begin to reclaim your power. You start replacing complaints with gratitude, replacing fear with faith, and replacing doubt with bold declarations. That shift alone can change your energy, your confidence, and even how others respond to you. It creates a ripple effect, opening doors you didn't see before simply because your words were aligned with a higher frequency. One day of intentional speech can reset your momentum, recalibrate your mindset, and reconnect you with the reality you're trying to build. Words are not just sounds, they are vibrations. And every vibration you release into the world carries a frequency that shapes how people perceive you, how circumstances unfold, and even how your own emotions respond. When you speak with confidence, hope, and clarity, you emit a frequency that draws in alignment, favor, and opportunity. People can feel the energy behind your words, whether you're walking into a room or speaking into a camera. That energy either repels or attracts. When your words are filled with fear, scarcity, or bitterness, they carry a heavy frequency that invites resistance, confusion, and limitation. But when your words are laced with faith, expectancy, and purpose, they lift the atmosphere around you. They unlock conversations, shift relationships, and invite divine timing to step in. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about energetic alignment. The language you choose becomes a signal to the universe, and that signal determines the quality of what comes back to you. You're constantly broadcasting, even when you don't realize it. So if you want your life to rise to a new level, start by elevating the frequency of your words. Speak as someone who expects the best, and you'll begin to notice how everything starts to respond in kind. You don't need to see the evidence before you start speaking with power. You need to speak with power so the evidence can begin to appear. This is where most people get it backward. They wait to feel confident before they speak confidently. They wait for the breakthrough before they declare it. But that's not how transformation works. Real change happens when you speak from faith, not from sight. When you begin to say things like, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am chosen, even when your bank account says otherwise or your situation looks the same, you're not lying. You're calling things that are not as though they were. And that act of bold declaration starts a chain reaction. Your mind begins to stretch to match your words. Your body begins to follow the belief. The world begins to reflect the confidence you project. The words you speak become the identity you grow into. Speaking as if it's already yours doesn't mean you ignore current reality. It means you refuse to be imprisoned by it. You speak from the future you're building, not the past you're escaping. That language creates momentum, and that momentum opens the door for everything else to shift. Your words are not simply commentary on what's happening. They are commands that shape what happens next. Most people speak like reporters, describing everything they see with no awareness that their words are also shaping what's to come. They say things like, "This always happens to me, nothing ever changes," or "I can't get ahead," believing they're just being honest. But those words aren't neutral. They're creative. Every sentence you speak is a declaration, whether you mean it or not. If you continue to speak struggle, you invite more struggle. If you declare limitation, you reinforce walls that don't even have to be there. But when you start speaking with intention, when you declare favor, success, wisdom, and growth, you're not just reacting to life, you're taking charge of it. You are giving instruction to your mind, your spirit, and your surroundings. The universe responds to leadership, and leadership begins with language. The tongue is not passive. It is a steering wheel, directing your emotional state, your relationships, your decisions, and your future. And the more conscious you become of your speech, the more authority you gain over your outcomes. Your words hold the power to either trap you in cycles or launch you into breakthroughs.